In this video, I will be showing you a full step-by-step tutorial on how to make this ASL I Love You Hand string art piece, featuring my acrylic templates. First thing you'll do is get your materials that you need. I'm using a 3/4 inch thick board, along with the acrylic string art template. These can be found in the description below. To start, we are going to take a nail and make guide holes on our board through the template. You'll just put the nail through each hole on the template, hit it once, giving us a mark for each nail later on. You can also use a pen or a pencil if you just want to mark each spot as well. That is totally up to you. Once you have each hole marked either from a guide hole or a pen, you'll go and remove that template. You can see on here what the guide holes look like. Then you will go through and hammer each nail in. I am using nails that are 1 1/4 inch long. I hammer them in about halfway. I want to leave plenty of length above the board to add all of the yarn on later. So here's what it will look like with all the nails hammered in. You can see there's probably about 1 inch of that nail left over top of the board. And now it is time to string. For my string art designs, I recommend using size 4 yarn. I'm using a shade from the Skein Tones collection from Lion's brand for the hand. As you can see, we are starting with the actual hand itself. I like to do a loop up in the air for my knot, and then we will start outlining the actual hand, making sure that we're pushing the yarn all the way down to the base of the nails, giving us plenty of room to fill them up with layers. I apologize that it's not in focus right now. I messed up on that part, but you can still see I'm outlining the actual hand. This helps us visualize exactly where we are going to be filling in with our yarn. And like I specified before, we are pushing the yarn all the way down to the base of the nails. Now that we have our outline set, it is time to go and start filling in. There's not a certain way to do this. You can jump all around the board, or you can go in a pattern like this. And just as before, we are pushing that yarn down to the base of the nails. One thing that I do recommend is all of these inner nails, just pretend that they're not even there when you are filling in the hand. Just go right through that and just connect through these outer nails on the outline. As you can see, I am keeping my yarn layer in a pattern, just kind of going back and forth. But like I said before, you can just go any different direction. We're really just trying to fill up all of the board below to where you can't see it, or until you are satisfied with the look of it. I personally like to fill it in completely to where you don't see the board. But like I said, that's totally up to you. For this design itself, I did 4 or 5 different layers. I just really made sure to go in all different directions to really fill in those gaps. With that being said, you can add as many layers as you want. Just make sure to leave a little bit of space at the top of the nails for your outline color. So I filmed that last part on time lapse so you didn't get to see how I tie it off. Basically, I just cut the yarn a little bit longer, make that same loop as before, tuck it onto a nail and pull it tight. Then I just take the scissors to trim the strand a little bit shorter and poke the end into the layers, and it will help secure the knot. So now that the hand is all filled in, we will go ahead and do our outline. Like before, we just did that loop up in the air, tuck it onto any one of the nails and pull it tight. With the outline not actually filling in the area, it's just a thin line, I just weave in and out along these outer nails. It will just have a zigzag look to it, and I'll do that all the way around the hand. You can go in and add little details on this layer, or go through on the next layer to fill them in. I did some on this first layer and some on the next layers. It's totally up to you. Eventually, they will all get filled in. So once you get back to your start point, we are going to do the same thing on the second layer, but we will be zigzagging in and out in the opposite direction. You can see that it makes little X's in between each of the nails, and this just helps to make this outline thicker. Now that we are back at our starting point again, I like to do one more outline. This will be along the outer side of the nails, and this will just kind of give it a smoother look. This part is optional. If you like how the outline already looks, then you can go ahead and tie it off here. Here's another look on how we tie off the yarn. I just cut it a little bit longer, just to make it easier to make a loop. Make that loop and tuck it onto one of the nails, and then pull it tight to secure it. And then take your scissors to trim this strand and use the end to just tuck it in between those layers. We are nearing the finish line. Next, we'll just do the details in the fingers. You'll just use the same method as the initial hand outline. Tie off, cutting extra length on the strand, make that loop, and pull it tight onto the nail. Trim that, and then just tuck it in between the layers. And now we have our finished string art piece. If you want to make this piece and need a template, check out my links below. I have the acrylic template or the download and print versions. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Thank you guys so much for watching.